Hey y'all, hey, this is Crystal from A Basket Case. Listen, I know y'all have been wondering where your girl at? Where you at? Where you at? I am here in my design room today. I got a special order for a birthday gift for a little girl who's turning 5 years old. The lady that ordered is one of my returning customers, and I think I'm going to do something really, really special for her. I'm working with a pretty decent budget, so because she is a returning customer, I want to make this extra, extra special. So stick and stay with me while I'm in my design room today. Okay, I showed you guys these on a haul video just a couple of days ago. I picked up these chairs from Top Shelf. Top Shelf is where it was. You know, I got the ones for the little girls, ones for the little boys. Okay, and they're kind of beachy chairs, but they all can be used. Also, can be used for like a TV chair, something to set on the patio, on cool nights or summertime, just whenever. So it's kind of like an all-purpose chair. So I believe this is a little unicorn. That's what it looks like to me. Or a shark. I think it's a shark unicorn. I think that's what it is. The tag doesn't say, but that's the picture. Okay, so I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this chair as the base, okay, to my basket. All right, so first things first, what I'm going to do, turn this chair around, and the little girl's name is Joya, Joiya. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to monogram or with my Cricut, put Joya's name on the back of the chair. Her grandma said that she loves to see her name on things. So that's what we're going to do for Joya. Okay. So right now I am going to load my cutter, and I'm going to use teal and then pink because it matches the colors in the chair. And we're going to proceed to cut Joya's name and adhere it to the back of the chair. I did take my trusty ruler because I want to make sure of the measurements on the back of the chair. Okay, so when I measure that, it looks like it's about 8 inches across. Okay, I'm not going to do a full 8 inches. I may do like 7.5, simply because I'm going to offset the image, which means I'm going to use two colors. The background is going to be the offset, and then, which is the teal, and then the pink is going to be the actual letter. Okay, so as you can see here, turn the camera around. I've already got Joya's name pulled up on my Mac, and we're going to go ahead and proceed to cut material, and I'm going to bring you right along with me. Okay? All right, guys, so stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here I am cutting the name. I've already cut the offset, which is the color that's going to be behind the actual lettering. And now I am loading my mat for the, let's see, for the name. I'm going to go ahead and cut off this little piece because I think this is going to be just enough that I'll need. Okay, Remember, when you're cutting and you're using heat transfer vinyl, if any of you guys are interested or have like a cutter, a Silhouette, or a Cricut, when you're using heat transfer vinyl, make sure that whatever image you're going to cut, you mirror it, which means you cut it on the back side, okay? Because that way when you iron it down, it's just going to be like looking in a mirror. So it's going to turn, you know, to the right side. So you won't be reading or it won't be cutting backwards, basically. Okay, let me go ahead and load this like so. Making sure that it is straight and on here really good. Okay, all right, so that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to load it and cut it in the machine. All right, guys, I have cut my two names. This is going to be the offset, and this is going to be what's going to go on top, okay? So what we're going to do now is start the process called weeding, okay? So what I'm going to do is peel all of the negative paper from around the image that I cut and leave it on what's called the carrier sheet, which is that shiny part of your vinyl. So let's get into it. Adjust this camera down just a bit. Okay. All right, so I'll begin by peeling the negative side, okay? And that's what this little tool is for. I use it for all kinds of things, but mainly that's what it's for weeding the material. And once you get it started, as you can see, it basically peels off pretty easy. Okay. And again, you want to be firm but gentle at the same time, because sometimes this vinyl will tear into your image. So I like to buy my vinyl that's, you know, it's not super expensive, but it's not the cheapest either. I think I use it, it's called RONT HTV, RONT HTV, okay? There you go. So that's the offset. And then let's weed the name, the part that goes right on top. Okay, if you're like me, I save all of my scraps when I'm cutting vinyl, because you never know when you're going to have to cut a smaller image, and that way you just don't have to keep cutting into your big sheets until you really need them. So this was really just some scrap that I had, and it was just enough to finish the name or the image. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Again, you want to be firm but gentle at the same time, as not to destroy your image. Okay, And that's her name, Joya. And this is going to offset it, which is going to go behind, which is going to make that pink pop on that pink chair. Okay? All right. Bear with me, and I'm going to take you over to where I have my heat press set up, and we're going to go ahead and get Joya's name put on the back of that chair. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, here I am at my heat press station, and what I've done is I have a tiny little ironing board. I absolutely love this. As you can see, it's just kind of like a desktop ironing board. Okay, so you can get these pretty cheap. I think I picked up this one from a secondhand store or something. So you can get these pretty cheap. So because I have that out, this chair, if you can see, it's very well constructed. It has screws in it here and here. So the cover of this chair does not come off very easy. So rather than to unscrew it and all of that, I want to get a smooth surface on the back where I can put her name. That's why I have my trusty little board out here. Okay, so what I did was just laid the chair, the back of the chair, right on the board, and that's going to give me a nice flat surface. Okay, so I have my offset first, and I'm going to position that exactly where I want it on this chair. Okay, and I think, let's see. All right, I think that's perfect. I think that's exactly where I want it. Okay, let me see if I can adjust the camera up just a little bit so you guys can kind of get a, okay, great. All right, so this is where I want Joya's name. Okay, and then I'm going to use my Teflon sheet, which I always like to use this, is because it keeps you from scorching the image. Okay, I've already taken my trusty heat press, plugged it in, and I am going to set that right here for about 60 seconds. All right, and I'm going to hold this on here for like 60 seconds. Bear with me, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I went ahead and I heat pressed Joya's name down, and I did it at 300 for 60 seconds. And I had to wait a few minutes because this is what's called a cool peel, which means you have to wait till that vinyl totally cools off before you start peeling the transfer sheet back. Okay, so there you go. All right, so there you have it. That's the offset for Joya. And then we're going to come right in and right over the offset. We're going to place her name. Okay, so we want to make sure that when we're placing her name, everything's down nice and flat. And if you notice, the heat press did not destroy the image at all on the front of the chair. Okay, and because this is a vinyl, when you fold up the chair, it's just going to fold up and straighten right back out. You know, so you don't have to worry about it being damaged or anything that way. All right, so here I am placing the image of her name right on top of the offset, making sure that I have it on there just perfect. All right, so that's taking me just a little moment. I want to get it on there perfect. I'll be right back. All right. I have got Joy's name positioned just like I want it. Putting the Teflon sheet back over. Careful to make sure everything is flat so it doesn't shift. Heat press again. 60 seconds at 300. Okay, let's get this pressed on. We'll let it cool off and come back and see what it looks like. All right, guys, here I am. I've got Joy's name adhered to the back of the chair. And what I'm doing now is just peeling the transfer sheet, the carrier sheet, off of the image. And we're gonna carefully do this and then take a look at how everything came out. It is looking pretty good thus far. You got to be careful when you're getting this transfer sheets off. A lot of times, depending on what type of vinyl you use, sometimes those transfer sheets don't come off in one piece like they should, depending on the material you're adhering it to. Here we go. Depending on the material that you're adhering it to and the type of heat that you're using. So sometimes it doesn't peel off in just like one sheet like you applied it. But you definitely will be able to tell because those transfer sheets are very, very shiny. And I still have a piece here I just noticed. Very, very shiny, so you'll be able to definitely tell if it is still on there. I don't know if you can see that. That was stuck on my All right, so let me adjust the camera. So there you go. That's Joya's name on the back of her little beach chair, okay? Or chair. I call it a beach chair, but it could be a TV chair or just whatever, okay? I thought that came out really, really cute, all right? So now we're gonna commence to building this basket for Joya's 5th birthday, all right? Stay tuned with me, guys, while I get my items together, and we're gonna build it together. I think I'm a little crooked. Sorry about that. All right, stay tuned with me. This is Crystal with the Basket Case. I'm going to gather some items, and like I said, we're going to build it together, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, loves, I am back, and I have gathered some items to go ahead and sit in the birthday chair. Again, you know, that's all nice and adhered tightly on here. And that's gonna hold up really, really nice. Okay, I even folded the chair just to make sure that it wouldn't crinkle or damage, and we are good to go. Okay, so first things first, I have this cute little Disney Munchlings. It's a candy cart, and it has 10 pieces to it, and it is just a really cute little toy. And you see that it lights up? I thought that was so cute. Perfect for a little girl her age, and it lights up, it plays music, it does a bunch of things. It has a scented perfume, something scented in perfume in there. I'm not really sure what it was. And it's a cart, and it rolls on wheels. And I think you can actually put real candy in here. And I don't know, it's just really, really cute. So I'm gonna use that, okay? I love the colors in here. Okay, so that's one thing we're going to use. Then they told me that she has her own room, and I have one of these, the light up bulb neon lights. I think you guys may have seen me when I did a haul on these, and I got a couple of them at a really, really good price. I did some research because I wasn't really sure for a 5-year-old if that would be safe, but I did some research, and yes, it is safe because it's not like the old neon lights where the neon housing was glass. This is actually a cool plastic, So I read the recommendations inside the box, and then I went online and I did some research, and it is definitely child safe, child friendly, child safe. My granddaughter even has one in her room, and she's only 4. And of course, they put it up on a shelf where she can't tinker with it, but it doesn't get very hot. It's hot and it stays very, very cool. So it is perfect. If you have any of these, it's perfect for little people. So you can go on and Google the Vivitar RGB neon light bulb, and this one will pull up and it tells you all the, the safety features and everything. But for anybody that was curious, it's perfect for a little room decor for, a little person. Okay, or even a teenager. But like I say, my granddaughter's 4 and she loves lights in her room. So her parents have one of these in her room and she absolutely loves it. Okay, so enough about that. Then, of course, we have a soft little blanket, maybe when she's watching TV or she just wants to cuddle up. We have a nice little blanket in here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got this from Ollie's a while back. I think it was Ollie's. Yeah, I think it was Ollie's a while back. So I have this, and then I have this cute little puppy dog. I think he actually goes in like a purse. Okay, so he comes in his little box, or she rather comes in a little box, and it has a little blanket. It's called a Papito, is what it is. Isn't that cute? It's just the cutest thing, I thought. Okay, perfect for a little kid to carry in her purse. And again, it has a little blanket that kind of matches the little blanket that I have. Some of the colors, play off just the same. Okay, and then of course we have a little cup. Now, what's cute about this little cup is if you look at it, it has all the little candy and the muffins and the ice creams and things of that nature, which is going to go in perfect with her candy cart. Okay, so all the little dessert things, okay, that's going to go in there. And I have one thing left, or maybe 2. Let's see, excuse me. And I may or may not add these, but I pulled them out of my stockpile anyway. I have just a little purse, okay? If she wants to carry her little Papito in the purse, it's just big enough for the little toy, okay? And it's made out of a little flower. Thought that was cute. And of course, we have the finger paint soap, okay? And then the carry bag for the chair, okay? So let's get started and see what we could come up with to get all of these pretty little items in this chair, okay? Before I get started, I pulled some pink ribbon out of my stockpile, and it is just a grosgrain ribbon. It is not anything that is wired or has a wire edge or anything like that. And what I'm going to do with this, like I always like to do, is take a piece of this ribbon. I'm going to put this camera down just a little bit and tie around the blanket and make a nice pretty little bow just to embellish it a little bit. So I'm going to put this down where you guys can see what I'm working with here. This is not absolutely necessary. It is just a preference. You know, you don't have to do it. You know, that's the one thing that I love about basket making. It's just a preference. There's no right way or wrong way sometimes to do things. Sometimes it's just the way that you like them done, or what your client or your customer, you know, what they request. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that little ribbon piece off of there. And we're going to make a nice bow. Okay. Nothing to this bow. Just like you're basically tying your shoestrings. Okay. A knot there. And okay, there we have it. Just straighten that out a little bit. Like I said, I like to embellish the blankets a little bit. It just gives it, to me, a little bit higher end look. Strictly a preference, not necessarily, not necessary if you don't want to, or if you just don't have the ribbon. It's not necessary. And always, I like to dovetail the ends of my ribbons, just to give them that really cool, clean, professional look. That was not the right way. I want to do that. Dovetail one edge, and then we'll dovetail the other. I'm going to pull them down, make sure I get them somewhat even. Okay. There you have it. Cute little bow. Just straighten that out just a little bit. Now, this blanket is also going to serve as a filler to help pack this chair tight. It'll look like it has a lot of items in it. Okay, so here we have that pink little bow tied on that blanket. And let's see if we can set that right there like that. Okay, I think I like it so far. Then we're going to take the little Munchlings candy cart. We're going to set that in here. I'm going to turn that blanket just a little bit where the bowl will set out on the side where it could be seen. Okay. Then we're going to take the little neon light for her room, so her mommy and daddy can hang that on her wall or put it on her bookshelf. And it has a remote control, this little neon light. It has a remote control, which I thought is so cute. So the kid doesn't have to touch this at all, even though it's cool. They don't have to mess with it or touch it. The parents can put it on the wall or on a shelf or something and just give the child the remote control, and she or he will be able to operate it from, you know, anywhere in her room while she's sitting on a chair watching TV or whatever. So we're going to put that in there like so. Okay. I'm not going to lift that. Well, let me do this. I'm not going to lift this blanket up any further. Let me adjust that for you. Just a little bit, loves. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm not going to adjust this up any further because I kind of want them to see there's a little embellishment on the chair. So I'm not really going to worry about that too much. Okay. So pretty much we've got that in there. And then of course we have our little cup. Okay. Our little cup. And we're going to stick that right in there. Okay, because it's a little cup holder. So that's really cute. Now, let's see. For her little Papito, I don't know. I just think that is just the cutest thing ever. I think what I'm going to do is, let me put the blanket back in here. The blanket for her little Papito. I'm sorry, I moved off camera there for a minute. I apologize for that. All right. So I think what I'm going to do here is, let's see. I had some hot pink paper. I have to find it to stuff behind her to keep the puppy from sliding back and forth. I will definitely find that. But I think what I'm going to do is anchor. Let's see. I think I'm going to anchor the little Papito in her box right up here on the handle. Let's see. Should I take it out the box? Oh, here's the paper right here, guys. Should I take it out the box? The box is so cute, though. I think I'm going to leave it in the box and just set her. Again, sorry I'm a little bit off camera. So I'm straightening this up in here. Basically, it's just to keep the little puppy from sliding to the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some fishing wire, okay, fishing line rather, and I am going to attach, let's see, I'm going to attach this box right to the handle of that. Bear with me, guys. Let me get some fishing line and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I am back. What I decided to do was take the little puppy out of the box, okay, because she's so cute and the box is hiding it. So I'm going to slip this box in the back of the basket along with the little tag that tells you how many you can collect and her name and things like that. I'm going to just put this little box back in here. It will be hidden all the way in the back, but that's also going to help some of my items to stand up a little bit. Okay, so that works out good. And now we're going to take sweet little Papito here, and we are going to fish line her to the handle of this chair to make absolutely certain that she does not move. Okay, so I have my clear fishing wire, and I am just attaching. You see that? It's attaching her here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this in two places. Tie one here, and I think I'm going to tie a little bit more fishing line right around the back, just to prevent slippage. Make sure she doesn't move. I am going to, I believe right now, I think I'm going to shrink wrap this. I may cello wrap it. I'm not really sure. I have to check and see what I have in my stockpile. I don't know if I have a cello wrap bag that's this big or if I have some cello wrap that's actually wide enough to wrap this gift with. But I do believe, okay, all right, this is working out fine. I do believe I have a shrink wrap bag that's definitely big enough. All right. So we have our little puppy here. And she's holding on very, very well. Now, I did want to put, or I am going to put, the carrying bag for the chair in case they want to carry it somewhere to a picnic or a family function, a beach day, I don't know, whatever. I'm going to put this in here as well. I know during Christmas time, when I take my granddaughter, sometimes, and my grandson, sometimes we go out, they'll have the Christmas in the park, you know, with all the lights and the little characters and stuff. Sometimes it's in parks around the holidays. Let me tell you, this would be absolutely perfect as well for that occasion. So just because, you know, it's a beach chair, of course, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to use it for the beach. I'm sure you guys already know that, but I just kind of wanted to bring that out. I think I'm just gonna put that right here for now, just where the tag can stick out just a little bit. Like I said, I just want it in there, so I just laid it right under the little toy. And I love this little purse, so I'm thinking, let's turn this a little bit because the cup is hiding my bow. All right. Okay, so we fixed that. I don't know. I like this little purse. What do you guys think? Maybe I can set it back here, like so. Really, really cute. Oh, I like that. Okay, so we just set it right back here, like so. Again, it's a cute little filler. All right. Okay, guys, I think that is it. I have this paint, which is a finger paint soap, but I kind of, I don't know. I may stick it in there because it's the only one that I have left. I only just have one left. And the color matches, I only have one left, and I really need to move it out of my stockpile. So I'm just gonna put that right there, and I'm gonna go ahead and tape it down, okay? So I think this turned out pretty cute for a 4-year-old for her birthday, okay? So we have all the toys, their little purse. She has her blanket, her cup. Like I said, Christmas time, if they want to be in the park and it's a little cool outside, she could take her chair and her blanket. And then she has her little fuzzy toy here, which fits right in her little purse that could be used as a backpack or a crossbody. And has her cup in here for her little drinks, okay? So I think I'm pretty satisfied with this little gift, and of course her name's on the back, okay? So I think this turned out really, really nice. I am going to anchor everything down, and then I'm going to get in my stockpile. Let me pull this up. I'm going to anchor everything down, and then I'm going to get in my stockpile and find out if I have a cello wrap that's actually wide enough and long enough to cello wrap it, or if I'll be able to shrink wrap it. And then I'm going to bow it up, and then we're going to come back and show you how I, did the finished products. The finishing presentation on this beautiful little gift, I think, for Miss Joya. I think she's really going to enjoy it. Okay, so hang tight with me. Let me get in my stockpile, see what kind of ribbon and wrap I have, and I'll be right back. Okay, loves, I was able to find a shrink wrap bag. This size is 32 by 40. So I went ahead and just slid the chair directly in there. I did not have a cello bag big enough to fit it. So we are going to shrink wrap this puppy and see what we can see. So I just kind of want to show you how I'm doing this. I slip this in the bag, okay? I'm going to use the top of this little unicorn horn here, okay? And that's where we're going to gather that ribbon so it'll stand straight up in this gift, okay? So what I'm going to do, it's going to get a little noisy with the cello wrap, guys, so I'm going to apologize now. But what I'm going to do is start pulling at the top because I want this to be as straight as possible, and then I'm going to gather, make all the gathers from the back. And I'm just going to move around as I do this because this gift is so tall and I have it sitting on the table. I just kind of want to show you guys that wrapping method. Now, some people may do this a different way. I find this works out better for me, but you know what? If you have a different technique, you know, write me a comment. Let me know what it is. I'm always willing to learn. Always, always, always. Okay? So, here it is. Because again, I want this just as smooth as I possibly can get it. So when I start shrink wrapping it, it's going to give me that nice glassy finish that I love. Okay? I have my trusty little zip tie here. I'm going to finish gathering it. I am going to gather it off camera because it's making a lot of noise. So let me go ahead and gather it and I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is it. And like glass, that's the sound you want to hear when you shrink wrap. That means it's all nice and tight and nothing's going to move. All right, there's nothing left to do but to bow it, and I might put a little monogram tag on it with her name on it just to embellish it a little bit more. Like I said, she's her grandma's a returning customer, so every time I do a gift for her, because she is such a great customer of mine, I always like to embellish it and just add just a little bit extra. But for the most part, guys, I think Joya's chair turned out really, really cute. Let me show you back once more. Okay, that's her name. And this is the basket. I am going to find some really pretty ribbon. I think I know what I want. It's polka dot, and it looks really festive and birthday-ish. And I'm going to go ahead and search in my stockpile for that. I do see it. Hang on one second. Here it is. Okay. I think that looks really cute and birthday-ish for this particular gift, so I'll probably do that. Maybe mix it with another color. Not really sure at this point. Oh, I did want to point out when I tied this at the top with that zip tie, I did tie it around the little unicorn horn there, and I didn't tie it real tight. Usually when I zip tie, I leave it open just a little bit to let some of the air escape from the back up to the top. But now that I'm finished, I am going to pull this zip tie super tight. There it is. And then I'm going to clip it off with my scissors. Find them right here. Sorry, I'm off camera. And we're going to clip that really, really tight. And then we have enough of the ponytail at the top to tie a nice, pretty ribbon. Go ahead and trim that up a little bit. And I'm going to commit to making the bow for the gift. And I think I'm going to take a little break and get me a little water and search for some more of that ribbon. And I may come back and make the ribbon. You know what? I think I will. I'll come back and make it on camera. Okay? All right, guys. Sit tight. Crystal with a basket case coming right back at you. Okay, guys. I have this grosgrain ribbon. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I can create a bow using this grosgrain ribbon that's going to stand up. I'm not sure what I want to do with it as far as if I want to try to mix it with that wire ribbon or not. Like I said, let's just see. Okay, so I made my little loop. It's like I would, you know, if it were wire ribbon. And turn that around just a little bit. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm not going to make these loops too terribly big because this ribbon, of course, is very flimsy. I'm just going to see if this is going to work. It may not. I know what I have in mind, but, you know, sometimes what I have in my mind doesn't necessarily come to fruition. All right, so far so good. It looks like a Hello Kitty bow, actually. And I'm still using that same technique as I use with the wire ribbon with the grosgrain, which is looping and then twisting. Even though it is the same side ribbon, you know, there's no difference. I still twist it anyway because it just helps me hold the bow tighter, okay? Now, that's just me. Like I said, one thing that's beautiful about basket making is it's a matter of preference for a lot of things. You know, some techniques work well for some people, some not so good for others, okay? So far, the bow is kind of cute, okay? Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to use a different color. Twist that really good there, okay. Or if I'm going to mix it. Right now, I'm just kind of experimenting just a little bit. Oh, you know what? I twisted that wrong. There you go. Okay. Of course, the wire ribbon is definitely, in my opinion, a lot easier to work with because it stays put. So, I don't know. If you're just starting out with bow making, I'm not so sure this would be, I don't know, maybe a little bit harder for you, but then again, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. My thing is just try it, see how it works out. Okay. All right, so I think that bow is looking kind of cute, actually. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 loops. I think I'm going to leave it with 3 loops and maybe come behind with some more color. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I honestly just kind of like that pink. You know what? I think I'm just going to leave it that solid pink. I don't know why, but I just absolutely love it. Okay, I'm going to do one more loop just to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller. And then we are going to, I have this ribbon too that says Birthday Princess. Okay, it's just something I had in my stockpile. I think I may make some streamers on here for her. With kids, I don't usually do too much of an elaborate bow because, you know, kids don't care anything about ribbons and bows. But at the same time, I do like beautiful bows because to me it just enhances the gift. All right, so I am going to make this one last twist in that loop here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, well, let me cut this off. Okay, and then I'm going to make some tails. I love, love, love this ribbon. I'm going to dovetail that anyway, but I just cut a little extra piece of ribbon to make some tails. And then I want this little ribbon on here as well that says Birthday Princess. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of that. This is another reason why I didn't want to mix too many colors, because I got a lot going on here with this bow. Okay. So I'm just going to lay that Birthday Princess ribbon right on top. And then give it a little pinch in the middle. Okay. Just pinch it right there in the middle. Put it right behind what I call my trigger fingers, these two. Okay. And I'm going to take another piece of this little birthday ribbon, slide it in this little hole, and we're just going to tie it off. Try to get it to slide down in there. Oh, there it is. Oh, well, that's okay. I'll pick it up in a second. Twist that around to the right side. And I'm going to cut this. Oh, I don't need to cut it off the spool. Looks like that was the last of it on the spool, which is really good because I don't like to just have little tiny pieces of ribbon left where you can't really do anything with it. So if I have a little bit left on the spool, I'd rather just go ahead and use it. Okay. All right. So as you can see right here, I am knotting that. Like this. And I'm just going to give it another knot there. It's just going to hold that ribbon nice and tight. Okay. Then we're going to cut that off. This is where it was the last piece of that on that spool. Okay. Great. Oh, I think it came out really cute. We're going to fluff that up just a little bit. So, if you have this grosgrain ribbon in your stockpile, it's great for just tying bows around blankets or items. But, you know, just try your hand at it and see, you know, if you can make a beautiful bow with it. You know, sometimes you might not have the colors that you want in your wire ribbon, or sometimes your wire ribbon may be premium, and for a kid's gift, you kind of maybe really don't want to use the premium ribbon because, you know, like I said, kids don't really care anything about ribbons, but just to enhance the bows, it's nice to put nice ribbon on there, you know, if you have it. In this case, I have a whole spool, a lot of this grosgrain ribbon, so I figured, you know what, why not? Let's just go ahead and try it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue fluffing this bow out. And then we're going to attach it to the gift. And then that's going to be all she wrote. Okay? All right, let's tie it up there after I fluff it out and see what we can see. Okay, loves, I have attached the bow to the top of the gift. And I think it came out beautiful. Okay? So, just as I said, if you have grosgrain ribbon and you don't want to use your wire ribbon like for a kid's gift or something, this may be perfect for you to try. All right? Okay, and that is the finished concept for this gift. And again, I think it came out absolutely cute. I am so very sure that the recipient of this gift is going to really enjoy it, and I'm sure that the person that's buying is going to think it's absolutely gorgeous as well. Okay? All right, guys. Bye for now. This is Crystal with a basket case signing off. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, share, give us a thumbs up. Bye for now.